Unfortunately for us Ravens fans, time just keeps on marching on. That means we've got another football game to watch, another football game to talk about, and this one is against a pretty good football team. The Los Angeles Rams make the trip from the West Coast, and they are 7.5-point favorites in M&T Bank Stadium. And it feels a little bit like this one might be a must-win. Now, it's not impossible to still make the postseason if you lose this ball game. There have been 4 teams in the history of the National Football League to make the playoffs after starting 1-5. The Bengals did it in 1970. The Chiefs did it in 2016. Colts in 2018. And the Washington football team in 2020. So that's the good news. But the bad news is there have only been 4 teams to start 1-5 and make the playoffs in the history of this league. So, all that to say, you're going to want to win this game on Sunday. What do you guys think, though? Is this game a must-win for the Baltimore Ravens? You let me know in the comment section down below by giving me a yes or a no, and we'll get started with today's show. The Baltimore Ravens took on the Houston Texans with, let's face it, what seemed like a practice squad, especially on defense. Roquan Smith not playing, Awuzie not playing, Hamilton not playing, Humphrey not playing. You're out a ton of guys, a ton of Pro Bowlers, a ton of your top talent. Now, for what that means for the Sunday's game, John Harbaugh spoke to the media on Monday. He said, yeah, there's hope for that, meaning getting some players back from injury. I think there'll be some number of the guys back. How many? That's up in the air. It won't be everybody. So that's what we know. You'll get some guys back. You won't get everybody back. I'd be surprised if I saw Humphrey again. I'd be really surprised if I saw Roquan. But I look at that list, and I bet that Kyle Hamilton and Ronnie Stanley are going to be back in this football game. Now, Lamar Jackson, if I had to guess, will not be. That's just me. Right? That's just my guess. It's not educated. It's just based on what I've seen, based on what I've heard, and based on the fact that you got a bye week next week. That's kind of just what I'd say. So that's the injury update for Baltimore. The Los Angeles Rams. Omar Speights is most likely going to be out for this football game, dealing with a high ankle sprain, as well as Colby Parkinson, their tight end, who currently is in concussion protocol. But other than them, no really big names for that Los Angeles Rams team that's going to miss this game against Baltimore. On to my keys to victory now. Okay, the reason you guys clicked into this video, the 5 things I need the Baltimore Ravens to do if they're going to beat Los Angeles. Number 1, this one is imperative. You have to get the run game going. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. If you can't do that, you will lose this football game. 100%. Derrick Henry, I need you, man. I need you. He's had a struggle these last 2 games. Let's just be nice and call it that. Against the Chiefs, 8 carries, 42 yards. The yards per carry weren't bad. A couple of rushes of 10 yards or more. But against Houston, it was one of his worst games in his career. 15 carries, 33 yards, 2.2 yards a carry. He did find the end zone, but man, if you combine those 2 games, 23 carries for 75 yards, does that sound like Derrick Henry? Because it does not to me. And I have a little bit of a concern that Lamar Jackson being injured and being out is kind of what is hurting Derrick Henry. Defense is not really having the threat of a quarterback using his legs and being able to focus just 100% on Derrick Henry, because I know Cooper Rush, he's not taking the ball. He's not running. Maybe that's what's hurting Derrick Henry. Maybe that's kind of what's showing his age a little bit. But also, in the same breath, like, this offensive line just needs to be better. I think that's probably the biggest improvement that we need to see. Derrick Henry hasn't been great, but a lot of times he's rushing, and by the time he gets to the line of scrimmage, there's 4 or 5 guys already on him. If you look at the run block grades for the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, nobody besides Tyler Linderbaum was above a 58. Joseph Noteboom at a 57.7. Andrew Voorhees, a 48.9. Linderbaum, 68.5. Daniel Faalele, get off my football team, at a 43.2. And then Roger Rosengarten, just a tick under a 50 at 49.8. They have to improve. Derrick Henry, he's got to be better as well, but I'm looking at these 5 guys before I look to 22. I know that sounds crazy, but I hope you guys feel that same way after you've seen this. The offensive line has to be better. They've got to be more aggressive. They've got to be stronger off the push. I'm going to set the over-under over 99.5. Basically, I'm asking you, do you think Derrick Henry breaks 100 yards this game? Give me the over or the under. Act like you're in Vegas, okay? Act like you're in the Sin City, and let me know. Over or under 99.5 rush yards for Derrick Henry. Number 2, you got to have better first down defense. This one is crazy. If you're thinking about going anywhere, don't, because you're going to be shocked at this stat. You're also going to be shocked at the stats I give for my third key to victory. So to end the first half, the Houston Texans went on a drive. We're on first down. They got 8 yards. Then on the second first down, they got 6 yards. They converted that. Then on another third down, they got 8 yards. And then another 1st and 10. They had 21 yards. Then 9 yards with the pass interference. And then to end it off, 1st and 10 at the goal line, 10 yards for a touchdown. Did you know that Houston only had 4 third downs that were longer than 5 yards? Only 4 times they faced third down where they had to get 6 or more yards to move the sticks. And one of them, they scored a touchdown in the third quarter. Guys, that is inexplainable. That's inexcusable. And that is part of the reason this defense is playing so badly. Like, they don't have great personnel. They got a lot of guys hurt. I get that. But if you are better, if you want to improve, you start by improving on first down. That's where this thing starts. Okay? If you want to get better on defense, don't let them get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a pop every single first down, because that creates second and short, and then that goes on to third and short, and that means a conversion. And then the cycle just keeps on going over and over again, back and forth, and they just move the ball down the field effortlessly, and then the next thing you know, they're in the end zone. Defense has to do better on first down. We got to talk about our awesome sponsor today. That's our great friends at Ethos before we get into our next keys to victory. As you know, my wife Kennedy and I got married a year and a half ago. I imagine we'll buy a house and start having kids sometime decently soon. And if something were to happen to me, the last thing I want, the people I love to worry about, is being able to pay the bills. So I trust Ethos to keep them protected. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. With life insurance through Ethos, your family is protected. Life insurance is a perfect way to make sure you're covered. You can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. There's no complicated process, and it's 100% online. As of March 2025, Business Insider actually named Ethos as the #1 no medical exam instant life insurance provider. You just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help them find the right coverage. The cool thing is you can get same-day coverage without ever leaving your house. You can even get up to $3 million in coverage in some policies as low as $2 a day, billed monthly. Need more convincing? Ethos has 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot with over 2,400 reviews. So, protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Application times may vary. Rates may vary. The third key to victory for the Baltimore Ravens, number 3, you got to be better on first down offense. Okay? Now, this one seems silly that number 2 and number 3 are basically identical. It's just be better on first down when you're on each side of the ball. But when you look at the game against Houston, it is jarring. In the first quarter, the Baltimore Ravens had a 1st and 10. They got 1 yard. They got another one. They got 2 yards. They had another one, 4 yards. Another one, 6 yards. Hey, not bad. Then 0 yards, -5 yards. That is what you did on first down. If you combine all 6 of those 1st and 10 attempts, that equals 8 yards gained on 6 1st and 10 attempts. And they paid the price for it. Because did you know that Baltimore only had 2 third downs shorter than 5 yards? Only 2. You're not going to convert third downs if you only have 2 shorter than 5 yards. What that means is you're not going to move the football. You're not going to score points. And with this Ravens defense playing like it has been, you're going to need to score some points, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're that bad on first down, that means the second down is going to be a lot longer, and that means third down eventually, and usually, especially with this game, was a lot longer than 5 yards. That needs to change. What's your score prediction of Rams versus Ravens? Mine is coming up in just like probably 2 minutes. Stick around for it. But I want to know what yours is before I give you mine. Number 4, you can't turn the football over. Cooper Rush, I'm looking at you. But I say that, and he's on this graphic, and I need to tell you guys and be honest with you guys, I'm not just speaking about Cooper Rush when I say these things. You might think I'm picking on him. You might think I'm calling him out. You might think that's being mean to him. But I'm here to tell you guys, look, this is not just a Cooper Rush stat. If you look at the box score, you'll see 3 interceptions. But we're not box score merchants, right? We watch the football games. We watch the film. We don't just look at the box score and make judgments from there because those tell lies. The film doesn't, though. This first interception, terrible throw, terrible decision by Rush. Great play by Jalen Petrie. That one is 100% on him. The second throw, the second interception, it's not a great throw to Mark Andrews, but you can see him right there, 2 hands on the football. Still catchable, still has to be caught for your tight end who has been in the NFL for almost a decade. And then this last one, this one is 100% on Rashad Bateman and his effort. You see him being covered right there by Kamari Lassiter. You see Kamari Lassiter is still in a full sprint. He ends up picking the ball off, and that's because Rashad Bateman, for whatever reason on God's green earth, decided to just give up on his route. Made no sense. It didn't make sense at the moment. It doesn't make sense now looking back on it. So yeah, Cooper Rush threw 3 picks. One of them hit his receiver's hands. One of them, the receiver just gave up on the route. Now, he does have to be smarter with the ball. I said that last week. I'm going to say that this week. You've got to be smarter in the ball, but everybody else has to step up. You got to know you're playing with a backup quarterback. You got to make up plays to make some things up in the aggregate for what you're missing from Lamar Jackson. So that means no more drops by Mark Andrews. That means finish your freaking routes, Rashad Bateman, please. You just got paid. Run your routes like a $12 million receiver. If you don't like your contract, hell, I'll trade you. I'll take half of it. I'll take 1/12 of it if you want to run your routes. I'll make that deal with you right now. Number 5. For the love of God, please have some heart. Please play with some toughness, some physicality. Act like you want to be a Baltimore Raven. Act like you care about the outcome of this game. This is the biggest key to victory, in my opinion, because this is something I have not seen since Derrick Henry fumbled in the 4th quarter of that game against the Bills. You didn't really need to see it against Cleveland. It was Cleveland. But you gave up against Detroit. You got blown out against Kansas City. You didn't show up against Houston. You're down horrendous right now. Not just us as a fan base, but them as a football team, as a coaching staff, as one whole unit. They're down just as bad as we are, probably worse. This is the worst it's been in almost a decade. They like to call us Ravens fans spoiled. You're spoiled. Guess what? We're not spoiled this year, are we? Can you have some fight for me? Can you act like play like a Raven means something to me? Can you make some plays? Can you force a turnover? Can you get a sack? Can you get a 3rd down stop? Can you execute? Can you get rid of the miscommunications? There is just so many, too many to count. Or will you just roll over and die and fall to 1-5? Is that what's going to happen? Because if that is, then I'm sick of doing this channel. I'll go ahead, I'll pull the plug, I'll blow this thing up right here, right in front of everybody. If this team's just going to roll over, die, and throw a terrible effort out there. But if you play with some heart, whether Lamar's playing this football game or not, you have a chance to compete. Now, unfortunately, I have picked the Baltimore Ravens in every single game this season. That includes last week's against the Houston Texans. Don't believe me? Go back, watch that video. It's still on the channel. And I said on my watch party on Sunday, I cannot pick this team again. And I just can't do it. I said it then. I'm a man of my word. So my prediction, without Lamar Jackson, the score is 37 Rams, 10 Baltimore Ravens. You're just not good enough defensively. I don't care that you added C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You're not good enough defensively. They're going to be able to score a lot of points on you. Puka Nacua, whatever his over-under is, make sure you take the over. Okay? Now, prediction with Lamar, if he plays, and as of the current recording of this video, we don't know if he's going to yet or not. 37-30. closer. I still think you lose. And then I think you go into the bye week 1-5. But it's not over, right? You still got 11 games to play after the bye week. If you go 9-2 in those final 11 games against worse opponents than you played before the bye, you still probably make the playoffs. But you got a lot more winning to do, and you got a lot of things to figure out before you start doing it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and make sure you got me followed on social media. We're going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. YouTube.com/RavensTV. That's where you got to be. And if you subscribe, we'll see you next time on tomorrow's video.